Hi everyone, 3 Men and a Whisky. It's December the 20th and I haven't done all my Christmas shopping, so I need a short film to watch so that I've got a bit more time to make sure that nobody is disappointed come Christmas morning. And with that in mind, I'm going to watch a short film today because yesterday I watched a movie that was based on a beloved children's book, How the Grinch Stole Christmas. And for me, it was overly long, given the length of the source material. It was just had way too much padding. And so today I thought I'd watch another movie based on a children's book, in this case a picture book that was put together in 1978. The good news here, though, is that the film they made in 1982 is nice and short. It's 26 minutes long because the book's pretty short. And sometimes the right thing to do as a filmmaker is not add an extra load of material just to try and stretch out the movie. Sometimes 26 minutes is enough. And so I'm going to watch the story about a young lad on the eve of Christmas with his beloved Snowman. And this movie was a mainstay in my household. You know, this was a film that we watched every year at Christmas. I've watched it many times since, partially because it's that accessible. It's 26 minutes long, so you don't have to set aside an entire evening for it. But also because it is just a lovely, beautiful, poignant story. It's unlike most Christmas movies, I would say. It's bittersweet, but it's beautiful in the same way. And so I'm going to see how it's held up. I'm pretty confident. I'm hopeful I'll still love it even after all these years. And yeah, I think there's a real lesson there for filmmakers that, you know, maybe you don't need to make a 3-hour movie when the source material is, you know, that thin. And don't get me started on trilogies when the book is... Anyway, I'm digressing. What whiskey am I going to have with my Snowman movie? Well, I wanted to find something quintessentially English. Snowman is set in the south of England. When they head off on their adventures, they fly over Brighton and Brighton Pier, and so I wanted to find something that fit that. Now, I couldn't find a whiskey that was from near Brighton, but I could find one on my shelf that was by the coast. It was distilled by the coast in Suffolk. And what's great about where it's distilled is that it's got a beach and it has a pier, and it's a place called Southwold, down in East Anglia. So the whiskey I'm having is from the Somerton Club. It's from Adnams Copper Distillery, and yeah, it's 10 years old. It's first fill ex-bourbon. So yeah, I'm looking forward to diving into this. I have had it before, but I'll be honest with you, I don't fully remember it. That might not be a bad thing. It might just be that, you know, the memory goes with age and with whiskey. So it may just be that I'm in for a nice surprise as I sip through it. So I'm going to go and drink my whiskey and watch The Snowman, a short film about the perils of climate change and the impact that it's going to have on snowmen all over the world. See you in a bit. Okay, so I am back 26 minutes later after watching The Snowman, and what can I say? If you've never seen this film, this short film, then you are missing out. Because even now, 42 years later, it is an absolutely beautiful little film. It really is. It's perhaps not as Christmassy as we're used to, in that it is very bittersweet, but I just cannot imagine how anyone could dislike this film. It's a beautiful, beautiful story. It has so many layers to it, even though it's only 26 minutes long and has no dialogue at all. It's, you know, the musical track around it really encompasses you know, the story in such a beautiful way. And you know, it there's something a lot deeper about it that, you know, maybe I hadn't picked up on as much when I was younger. You know, the idea of nothing lasts forever, you know, and literally the love of Christmas that a child has is very fleeting, you know, before it maybe gives way to other things. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, I don't know, but that's certainly how I read into it. And it's just so strong because of it. It's a really beautiful film and an absolute must watch at Christmas. It's got to be said, you know, and I do think that it holds up. You know, it's not pretentious. It's not trying to be anything that it isn't. It's not, you know, the animation is what it is. The music is what it is, and it just works, you know. And I think watching this, you know, just after watching How the Grinch Stole Christmas was really telling, because, you know, if they'd made that as a short film, would it have been better? I'm almost certain it would have been. And I think the Snowman demonstrates that sometimes just sticking to the source material and making something poignant and impactful in every scene is what matters, you know. So it isn't a Christmas movie like many others, you know. It's not got lots of song and dance numbers. It's not got all those spirits of Christmas in there, but it is so compelling all the way through and genuinely heartfelt, and it really puts you in the, you know, in the slippers of a, you know, of a little kid throughout, which is you know, which is wonderful, because again, Christmas is all about magic, and this really, really captures that, you know, the magic and the innocence of youth, which is really sweet. So I didn't think I'd do this. I did not think I would have a second one of these, but I'm going to do it. I'm going to give this 12 drummers drumming, because this film deserves it. It's absolutely brilliant, and it goes to the joint top of the rankings because it's timeless. It's an absolute timeless classic. And yeah, I could go watch it again. In fact, I could watch it 4 times and have way more fun than I had watching The Grinch. So there you go. Whisky. Was the Whisky as compelling, as exciting? It wasn't. It wasn't. It was okay. You know, I think there were a number of what I would say issues with it. You know, there wasn't a lot of complexity there. It was quite sweet. It was quite bourbony, maybe because it was, you know, first full bourbon cask that it's come out of. It was 10 years old, and if I'm honest with you, it tasted younger, which is a bit of a disappointment. There wasn't loads of spirit burn or anything like that. It was just a bit flat, which is a real shame. But you know, you win some, you lose some, and I've definitely won some with the Snowman. And if you haven't watched it, please do, because it's absolutely wonderful. And as for the Whisky, maybe maybe I'll pick up another bottle of something a bit different from Adnams and see if it's improved. So with the Whisky, I'm going to give it 4 out of 10, which I know is a low score, but it didn't really do it for me. It was a bit, just a bit flat from my perspective. So there we go, another one done. Tomorrow, at least for me, tomorrow is the last Saturday before Christmas, which means everybody will be scrambling around to find those last minute presents. I may well be one of them. All right, I'll leave it there. Please like, subscribe, and all that stuff. And yeah, keep watching. See you tomorrow. Cheers.